Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about modern day slavery, which is screens, how we are being captivated and just used and kind of entertained so easily by our phones, by social media, by films, by everything you see on your phone. It's basically just we're being taken control of. We're being controlled by screens, by what we see, and by everything that kind of stimulates us. And it's what's keeping everyone so subdued, so happy, so willingly just everyone's so willing to just sit there and just do what they're told. And that's because we're given so much entertainment so easily. So nowadays you've got Disney Plus, you've got Netflix, you've got Amazon Prime, and you've got tons of TV shows on every one of this that are seasons long. You've got hundreds and hundreds of movies on each one, and all you have to do is log on, click, and that's 2.5 hours of it for a movie, or it's 30 minutes for an episode, or an hour for an episode, and you've got 12 seasons, and you've got 5 movies. You can sit there watching that for days, for weeks, and all you have to do, so you go to work, you get back from work, and then you sit down at home on your sofa and you watch a movie, you watch a TV show. And that's the life of so many people, because they're being captivated by the industry, which is just entertainment. And social media is now the next stage of that. So you've got TikTok, you've got Instagram, you've got YouTube Shorts, all this short form content that isn't beneficial to you. It's basically the next step, which is, okay, so they're shortening your attention span. They're making it harder for you to focus on things that are longer than 30 seconds, longer than a minute. So then when it comes to you actually trying to complete other tasks throughout the day, it's going to be a lot harder for you. So then you don't want to do those tasks even more. So then you go back to watching TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels even quicker. And then that kind of cycle just repeats itself. You end up going around, you need to do a job, you need to do a task that you've given yourself, but no, your attention span's too short, and you're too used to sitting there watching 30 seconds worth of clips. And that's it. That's what your life becomes. So I want you to put a limit on yourself now on how much time you can spend, not only on your phone, but watching social media content and just taking in content that is on your phones, on your laptops as a whole. So I'd say 2 hours a day, 2.5, 3 hours a day, tops, for things like YouTube videos and movies. You shouldn't be watching short form content. That's a no-brainer. You should not be watching TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts. You should not be watching them. And I'd say 2.5 to 3 hours a day maximum for actual long form content. So maybe a podcast, maybe a long form YouTube video that's 15-20 minutes long, so that you're not hindering yourself to the point that you cannot focus on an external task that's longer than a minute. So start training yourself to not just immediately open up your phone and go onto TikTok. Start training yourself to put on a video that's 30 minutes and not skip through it, not just skim through it and keep clicking plus 10 seconds, plus 10 seconds, plus 10 seconds. Train yourself so that you sit there, you listen, you focus, and that you give it your full focus to actually watch what you're watching, to focus and hear what that person in the video is saying, so you can then focus on the information that they're giving you, on the value that they're providing, and you can then take it in. So you need to stop wasting your time, stop throwing away your potential by sitting there and just completely just absorbing all of this numbing content. Because what it's taking control of you. It's not even, there's no benefit to it whatsoever. And don't try and justify it. Do not try and justify it, because the only positive that you can even ever say is, oh, I see a lot of good things that are really helpful. Oh, well, even then, okay, you might see one clip out of every 10 that's important. And even then, you might watch it for 5 seconds out of the full 30-second clip. So you're not actually giving yourself any help here. You're not actually helping yourself in any way, shape, form. You're not taking any information from that informative piece of content. So what you need to start doing, watching long form content instead, and even then limiting it, so that instead of spending all your time on your phone watching content, watching movies, watching long form YouTube videos, spend your time reading books, something that's much, much less stimulating, so that you can train yourself to be just as stimulated by doing something that's far less stimulating. And I spoke about this earlier on a different YouTube video, and it was the fact that if you lower the amount of stimulation it takes for you to be just as happy, then when you go to do something that's more stimulating, that's more inducing of happiness, then you're going to be even happier. So if on a daily basis I don't watch, so let's say you've got 3 levels, you've got amazing, awesome, fun activities like skydiving and adrenaline, like lots of adrenaline, like really fun stuff that you love doing no matter what. And then you've got short form content here, so that'll be TikToks, video games and that sort of thing, stuff that's really quick, fast paced, and lots of colours, lots of fun sounds and stuff. All of that, that's your next stage. And then below that, you've got longer form content, so your longer YouTube videos. You've got long movies that like education documentaries and that sort of thing. And then below that, you've got things like reading, things that aren't very stimulating but are still interesting. So 4 stages, and imagine on these 4 stages, if I am on the bottom stage because I spend my time reading, I'm in between the bottom 2 because I spend my time reading and watching, listening to long form content and absorbing that for informative purposes. So I'm gaining information, I'm taking value from that content. So I'm down here. So I don't need very much stimulation to be happy, to feel happiness and joy, to feel energetic and feel good about what I'm doing. Whereas someone like you, someone that's sat there every day going through YouTube Shorts, TikTok and Instagram Reels, just drowning in the dopamine, trying to get that next hit, you're going to be up here. You're going to be in between level 2 and level 1. So the amount of stimulation it takes for you to feel happy is a lot higher in general. So I could be happy sitting around in a forest, whereas you're going to think, oh, this is boring, I don't like this, I hate this, this is terrible, I don't like being outside, because it's not stimulating enough for you. Whereas I'll look around and think, oh, it's so beautiful, oh, the grass is green, the sounds, I can hear the wind blowing through the trees and the birds and the grass, that type of thing will make me happy. Whereas you're like, you don't pay attention to it because it's not loud enough, it's not fast paced enough, there's not enough going on to stimulate you. So it will take me much less stimulation, so that when I see a bit of short form content, a YouTube short, a TikTok, an Instagram reel, I'm going to be far more stimulated. I'm going to go, wow. And obviously that's very exaggerated, but I'm going to feel way more stimulated, way happier. There's going to be much more dopamine for me. And when I do those even more fun activities like the skydiving, the bungee jumping, the sports that you absolutely love, it's going to take less of that for me to feel just as happy. Or if I do the same amount, I'm going to feel even happier in comparison. So for you, because you're just below that top level of stimulation, which is doing bungee jumping and all these adrenaline sports and stuff and doing these amazingly fun things, you're just below that top level. So it takes you so much more effort just to feel at a base level of what I feel when I'm down here. And if I were to do the things that you did just for a day, that I'd feel amazing. I'd feel so energetic. I'd have so much more happiness and energy. I'd be like, wow, look at this. Oh, so much cool sounds. But I don't need that because I limit it for myself, so I can actually concentrate for longer periods of time, so that I can focus on tasks that I give myself, so that I can actually make progress and not lose my track of concentration after not being stimulated for a minute or two. I've trained myself to be able to go 10 minutes without having to watch some shitty piece of content, but you have to sit there, you have to watch this bit of content, and you have to keep looking for the next one that's just as stimulating, just to feel something. And that's embarrassing for you and yourself, because you rely on this content just to feel good about yourself, whereas I don't need it. And so many other people, they don't need it. It's not a requirement for them. Their life is so much better because they're not reliant upon all of this short form content that's so stimulating. They get stimulated just enough. They get stimulated plenty, and they feel so much happier just through doing their daily task in life, just through the gratification and the feeling of completion from doing the dishes or hanging out the laundry. Little tasks like that, or doing something, making your bed in the morning, that's the kind of thing that could make that person happy. Whereas you need to sit there and get video games for an hour just to feel half the amount of stimulation. So I urge you to train yourself to not have to rely on all this content, and start pushing yourself to the degree to wean yourself off of it and stop being such a child in the aspect that you need this short form content. Start reading books, start filling your time with less stimulating activities, so that when you do the more stimulating things that you can actually enjoy, when you go out and see people, when you go to parties, you enjoy it so much more. Honestly, this will change your life, but just make the right decision now. Start training your body, start training your mind, and it will change everything for you.